Good evening, everyone. I'm Leah Cooper with your JCN News for this Wednesday, May 22nd. Having dismantled the so-called secret National Intelligence Agency upon taking office, the Minnis administration today opened debate on proposed legislation for its own version of what's now being rebranded the National Crime Intelligence Agency, a centrally located intelligence network with vast new powers.
Essentially, the NCIA will be the main assessment agency as it will play a wider role in gathering, analyzing, coordinating, disseminating, and reflecting the complex overlap of both domestic and international security issues. Mr. Speaker, this new development in national security is a necessary change that has been long contemplated and is arguably overdue.
As drafted, the bill has three purposes: a focus on coordinating intelligence gathering and joint strategy planning among law enforcement heads. The second, to collect information and intelligence with respect to activities that may be suspected of being a threat and coordinate effective networking between regional and international departments. This in the face of the constant threat of drugs and guns.
The purpose of this bill is not to intrude in the lives of law-abiding citizens. Such interferences in the lives of law-abiding citizens would not be justifiable and is not the intended purpose of this agency. Mr. Speaker, the unfounded ideas, as they are, must be addressed so that the Bahamian people, the law-abiding Bahamian people, have a full and clear understanding of the purpose and need for such an agency. Mr. Speaker, I must reiterate the need to enhance national security.
Mover of the bill, National Security Minister Marvin Dames, in terms of oversight and control, the agency will be void of political interference. Arguing for the Progressive Liberal Party, Anglerston MP Glenys Hannah Martin charged that despite its implications and the request for the bill to be delayed, the government sought no real and actual consultation on the bill, begging the question that the government is seeking to bully its way through the House with this serious piece of legislation.
In this bill, there are instances of absolute control of the provisions of the powers and intrusions by the Prime Minister, and shows an incredible lack of accountability in this bill. The proposed agency lacks independence and autonomy and is subject to political control, as I've indicated, by its appointment, by its directions, and is therefore amenable to abuses and violations of the fundamental rights and freedoms of which I spoke, and can become a political tool. This is unacceptable.
In its present form, the bill, she said, will not get the official opposition support. Meanwhile, the PLP's parliamentary team, led by opposition leader Philip Davis, left the chamber of the House of Assembly this morning during National Security Minister Marvin Dames' contribution in protest of his continued presence on the cabinet. The opposition again calling for Mr. Dames to resign or be dismissed, as they say he stands judicially condemned because of his conduct in the Frank Smith case. Chief Magistrate Joanne Ferguson Pratt threw out the charges against Mr. Smith back in February after finding there was not a sufficient case to answer. This 6 months after a handcuffed Frank Smith was escorted toward the magistrate's court to face 15 charges, including 13 counts of extortion, 1 count of attempted extortion, and 1 count of bribery. The chief magistrate said the testimony of the prosecution's witnesses did not match. She also questioned whether the case was politically motivated. In particular, she criticized National Security Minister Marvin Dames and Health Minister Dr. Dwayne Sands, both of whose involvement in the matter forced them to testify last year. Police investigators again calling on the public for help in solving the latest homicide over in Grand Bahama. Authorities say they were alerted to the incident after midnight in the area. There on Heron Lane and Murchison Drive was the victim's bullet-riddled body lying on the ground. He died on the scene. Anyone with information that can assist with investigators should call the Central Detective Unit at 350-3105 through 12, 919 or 911, or the nearest police station. The opposition's questioning the Prime Minister's credibility, and here's why. If its projection bears true that the government will miss its revenue target by at least $400 million, how is it that it can embark on an ambitious and aggressive capital works agenda? A question Progressive Liberal Party leader Philip Davis once answered, having heard the Prime Minister's nationally televised address on Monday that spoke extensively to major roadworks throughout the country. In the case of those on tap for Andrus, Mr. Davis noted that this started several years ago as a part of the PLP's $100 million infrastructure development that included the construction of establishment of BAMC. Overall, the opposition chief sized up the national address as a flop, offering nothing new, transformative, or empowering for Bahamians. At least 300 National Insurance Board employees across the country participating in a sick-out today, according to the union president Marvin Duncombe. This after workers used their tea break yesterday to gather on the front lawn of the corporation's Blue Hill Road location to express their grievances. And according to opposition leader Philip Davis, the demonstration shows the government's attitude towards workers.
When workers have to resort to protests in a manner in which they are now exhibiting, it tells you that there seems to be no empathy and or no concerns about the concerns of workers. That has been the hallmark of this administration to date. A callous disregard to concerns of workers. And it is unfortunate that they are allowing or pushing workers to reach this stage where they have to protest in such mass numbers.
At the center of the issue, an outstanding industrial agreement and a slow claim system. Efforts to reach the minister responsible for NIB, Brensel Roll, was unsuccessful. You're watching JCN News. Stay with us.
This segment of the news was brought to you by Alive.